Hello, hello everyone. How is everyone tonight? Can anybody hear me? Oh, I can see Jay Brown typing. True, Jay Brown. Hi, Sue. How are you? It's nice to see you all. Bajir is not here tonight. I am here. Hi, Bridget. Thanks, Jay Brown. So, Jay Brown, I'm sure I see you on Skybridge all the time. So I feel like I know you. So, yeah, I am. Hi, Wendy. How are you? Hi, Ro. So I'll be hosting Bridget's lessons until the end of June. So you're kind of stuck with me, but I recognise a few of your names. Hi, Jeanette. And those of you that I don't recognise, it's probably not because you're new, it's because I'm new. So my name is Caroline, and I'm one of the newer members of the LBO team. So it is lovely to be here. If you are new, feel free to just let us know maybe whereabouts in the world you are. You can see people typing down in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. So just go ahead in the chat window and type and let us know where you're at. This is a really warm, encouraging group of people, and it's a fantastic community. Hi, Marianne. So if you've got any questions throughout the lesson, please go ahead and type them down in the chat window. There's no such thing as a silly question. It's likely that if you've got a question, other people will have a question too. It's especially helpful for the people that can't join the live stream because they're obviously watching the recording and not able to ask the questions themselves. So, hi, George. So yeah, please go ahead and just type your questions. So if you have any technical difficulties, there's a few things you can do. One, you can just wait a moment and see if the magic of the internet works its magic and figures itself out. If that doesn't work, two, refresh your browser. Doesn't work. The third thing you can do is to close down your browser tab, go back to the email and click on the link again. Reopen the link, and hopefully that will work. That solves about 99% of the issues. Then if there's anything that you can't solve that way, there's a little golden support widget in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. So you can go ahead and message me in there and I will see if I can assist you. So, good morning, Sheila. So let us get started. I will record the most important thing. Just wait for that to tick over. Always takes a little while. No problem, Ro. Thanks for letting us know. Okay, so welcome along to another lesson. Welcome to those people who are joining the live stream, and thank you also to the people who are watching the recorded lessons. It's lovely to have you along. Please, if you have any questions, go to the class page. You can leave your questions for Bridget there. I'd also like to extend a warm welcome to anybody who is new tonight. We're pleased to have you as part of the LBO community. It's a very warm and welcoming bunch. So yeah, let's invite Bridget onto the screen and get started. Everybody, please give our esteemed and appropriately named teacher, Bridget, a warm welcome.
Hi, I know. You do know, Caroline, I changed my name, don't you?
I was just thinking about it today, and I was thinking it's such a great name for a bridge teacher.
I know. I've actually got a completely different name, and then I started playing bridge. And I actually thoroughly recommend that all of you change your name to Bridget as well.
We should all be Bridgets, yeah. I don't know what you would do if you're a male, but you know.
There must be something. We could think of something.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, so Caroline, are you familiar with this Jacoby 2 no Trump? We're going to talk about that today, the pros and cons of it, whether it's a good bid, what it all means.
I'm excited. No, I've heard of it, but I've got no clue what it is. So
okay,
absolutely brand new.
Okay, well, sit tight, sit tight. We're going to go through very, very slowly. And before we do, actually, we're going to do a quick bit of revision on that Helvet Wiggle, because I think it's just a good plan just to lock in some of the things we learned last week. So we're going to do a tiny bit of revision on that first, but then I'm going to talk about the Jacoby 2 no trump. We'll go very slowly. Even if you don't plan on using it, it's just good to know because so many people do use it. So you'll have an idea of what other people are doing when they make this bit.
Yeah, that's a great point. You don't have to use every type of bid, do you? But having
It's
awareness of
good
it
to know.
is.
Yeah, for sure. And
Okay, I will leave you.
Okay, that's
Sorry.
cool. That's okay. You
All right, I will leave you to it.
Okay.
I'll
See you soon.
Enjoy the lesson, everyone. Bye.
See ya. Right, let's pop me over here. Hold on a second. And first up, can everybody see the slide? Can you see the Jacoby 2 no trump opening slide? Hi, Ro. Hi, Judith. Cool. First up, who knows where the picture is? Does anybody know this? It's kind of linked in with last week. And I had to try and think of an excuse to use this picture because I love this place. And I thought, what reason can I have to link this up with Jacoby? And I have come up with a reason. The reason I've decided is because Jacoby's about reaching slam and the soaring peaks of slam. So I thought kind of this is a soaring peak picture. Got Austria coming in. There's a link with last week. This is just around the corner from where that Great Escape film was filmed, which is in Bavaria in southern Germany. This is the Neuschwanstein Castle. So again, it's awesome to go there if you ever get a chance. It's I think it's the Disneyland Castle was actually based on it. So Jacoby 2 no trumps. But before we do that, before we do anything, I'm just going to take everybody over quickly and do a quick little bit of revision on this Helvet Wiggle to carry on with our idea of just locking in and reinforcing. And just as your memory is starting to forget things, if we talk about it again, it's going to make it much more likely that it will be firmly cemented. So let me just take you across to Bridge Base first. And yeah, Judith, it is really, really beautiful. It's almost a bit kitsch, but it is beautiful because it's such a lovely part of the world. Okay, so who can see the Bridge Base screen? Just going to be the thumbs up or the yes. I think you all can because I can. Cool, thanks, Sue. Okay, so this hand here, they're playing Acol. They've opened 1 no trump. So they're saying 12 to 14. So if the opponents play Acol, you should definitely use a double as a penalty double because they really put their necks on the line when they open 1 no trump. So this North hand is going to double. Okay, question. Does East want to escape? Is East worried sitting there with 1 point? You know the answer. They're worried, right? East is very, very worried. So when you're worried and you know that you need to wiggle your way or escape from the 1 no trump doubled, you basically have to do one of two things. If you've got the 5 card suit, you redouble to tell your partner, hey, I've got a 5 card suit somewhere I need rescuing. Could you please bid 2 clubs and then I'll tell you where my 5 card suit is, or pass, that happens to be clubs. Or in this situation, what do? So you don't have the 5 card suit, you can't redouble. What should you do here with the East hand? So you can get there first. I think it's going to be Sue. Yeah, Sue's saying you bid 2 hearts. So you bid the bottom of your 2 4-card suits. So if you don't have a 5-card suit, this is the logic. If you don't have a 5-card suit, it's probably because you've got 2 4-card suits. There's one exception, which is when you've got a 4-3-3-3 shape, then you just have to bid clubs. But if you do have 2 4-card suits, which you normally will, you bid the bottom of your 2 4-card suits. So here when you come in and bid 2 hearts, your partner knows that you must actually have hearts and spades. So even though they technically could pass the 2 hearts and 4-3 fit's not terrible, they know for sure that they've got a 4-4 fit in spades. So here, what are they going to do? West trusts their partner. West trust knows that their partner would bid the bottom of 2 4-card suits. And if they only had 1 4-card suit, they'd have to bid clubs. So they know they can trust their partner and bid spades here. And North-South are probably going to come in. So the whole thing about the Helvet Wiggle is it works really nicely because normally the opponents even though they'd be very happy to double one no trump for penalty and bring you down, normally they're not so happy to try and double a part score in a contract. It doesn't feel so sure that they're going to get you down or get you down for as much. And normally they try and come in and will often try and pull to a place that works for them. So you get off the hook here. So you're going to be playing in 2 spades and they could double you, but unlikely. I think they'll probably bid on with this hand and end up playing in something themselves. Okay, let's try the next one. Okay, so we've got a weak no trump again. It's basically crying out to be penalized. North is going to give them the smash. They're going to double for penalties. Okay, now what? Does East want to rescue? What can they do? What's the bid by East? Cool, redouble. So help partner. I don't have 2 4-card suits, but I do have a 5-card suit. So redouble. This person's just going to pass. West does what they're told. They don't have a choice here. They can't break this. They have to bid 2 clubs. There's no choice here. They bid 2 clubs. And then East does what? Bids 2 diamonds. And you've got to a safer place. Again, they're going to probably come in here, or almost certainly come in and probably end up in their own contract. But you are in a safe place, or a safer place than playing in one no trump doubled. So Lisa's just asked a really good question. It says, are transfers off over a double? And this is all down to partnership agreement. So I play that they're off. I play the helvet wiggle over a double. Some people do play that they're on, but I don't. So I play that they're off. You can do what you like, but the helvet wiggle is linked into playing that transfers are off. So that if you do come in and bid this, it's because 2 diamonds, it's because you've actually told your partner to puppet 2 clubs and then you want to play in 2 diamonds. Or if you'd come in and bid 2 diamonds straight away over the double, that would be the bottom of your 2 4-card suits. So basically you can't have the best of both worlds. You can't just decide that sometimes you want it to be a transfer and sometimes you want it to be a helvet wiggle. So if you play the helvet wiggle, transfers stay and everything is off over a double. Caroline said, is the response to double always 2 clubs? Someone type the answer for Caroline. Anyone getting there? I'll give it a second. Yes, thanks, Linda. Yeah, it's always 2 clubs. So basically, they're bidding the lowest suit, which you can pass if your 5-card suit is clubs. But if it's not, 3 times out of 4, then you place it and then bid your 5-card suit, which is what you've done here. So you're basically saying 2 diamonds is where I want to play. And again, like we said, the opponents are almost certainly going to come in here and you'll be off the hook. So I'm going to just take you back now. I'm going to do the Jacoby and talk about what it is, what it means, what you lose, and what you gain. How many people play Jacoby regularly? We're going to have some challenging stuff for the ones who do and some really going through the basics for the ones who don't. Okay, cool. So there's a lot of people who don't. That's good. Good. That's great. So we're just introducing it. And we will talk about it all next week as well. I'm not going to leave you just with a whole bunch of new stuff. We'll reinforce it again. Wendy does play it. Right, let's go to the first slide. So first of all, what is Jacoby 2 no trumps? So when your partner opens a major, majors are just so important in bridge that any system that you can develop that helps you lock in your major with your partner can be really useful. It's just so fantastic to get to that sort of holy grail of the major. The thing about the Jacoby is it's focused on actually potentially leaving open slam when your partner opens one of a major and you have got a 4-card fit or more. So in the old days, if your partner opened one of a major and you had enough for game and you had a major fit with your partner, you would just bid to the 4 level, which is fine, sort of 80% of the time. Question for everybody. Who can give me a rough percentage of how many hands end up making slam? So not biddable slam, but can actually end up making slam, as in 12 out of the 13 tricks? What percent do you think are potentially slammy? Any thoughts? I was so surprised when I heard this. Linda's saying 5%. George is saying 2%. Okay, so this is double dummy. When people talk about double dummy, that means to say you can see all the 4 hands, how many can actually make 12 out of the 13 tricks? Okay, it's super surprising. It's actually about 13.5% of hands can actually make that many tricks, which is amazing. It's so weird. But clearly, not that many can bid it. So a lot of these are lucky slams. Hands happen to sort of gel together nicely, or someone gets squeezed, or someone hasn't got the ability to make the right opening lead. But a lot more than you think can actually make 12 out of 13 tricks. Biddable slams are different. That's more around the mark that Linda said. I'll say slightly less than 5% are biddable slams. But that's still a lot, right? Like if you are playing, a large duplicate, you're probably going to have a slam. So slams, if you want to invest a little bit of time into trying to find slams, it will pay off over time. But if you decide that you don't want to and you're just going to go with your game contracts, you'll miss out on the odd slam, but not terrible. You are getting your games. But once your bidding becomes a little bit more advanced, knowing how to bid to slam is good. And it's great being able to bid those 5% of biddable slams nicely and get to the right place. Have we got Linda coming in? Nope. Okay, so the sacrifice about using 2 no trumps to saying to your partner only over a major, by the way, it's not over a minor, it's only over a major. So the sacrifice of it going 1 of a major and then bidding 2 no trumps to tell your partner that you've got a game going hand with at least 4 card support, and that's what Jacoby is doing, is that you can't bid this 2 no trumps as a natural bid anymore. So that's something you lose. So Jacoby goes 1 major and then a bid of 2 no trumps. Carolina said, as if you play 5 card majors, do you adjust 2 no trumps to show 3 card support? And the answer to that is no, you don't. You definitely don't. It has to be 4 card support, regardless of whether you play 4 card ACOL, 4 card majors, or if you're playing 5 card majors in a strong no trump. So I've got some system here for how it all works, what the next bids are, but I'm just going to park that for a minute because I want to go through about the disadvantage of losing that 2 no trumps and how bad it is first. And then we'll come back to the follow-on bids of how the opener describes the hand after that. Let's take it to the next slide. Okay, so now that you are playing Jacoby, so now that it goes 1 of a major and 2 no trumps is saying I've got a game-forcing hand with 4 or more of your suit, what are you going to bid with these hands if you can't bid 2 no trumps? If 2 no trumps no longer says I've got a 10, 11, 12 count. So the A hand, what are you going to bid? I'm trying to prove here that you haven't really lost very much. So it's gone, say, I should have written in there that they've opened 1 of a spade. 1 spade. So they've opened 1 spade and you've got hand A. Yeah, you're going to bid 2 clubs, right? So you want to tell your partner that you've got 10 or more points and that you've got 4 or more clubs. It's completely okay with a minor to respond at the 2 level with only 4 of them. Is it okay with a major to ever respond at the 2 level with only 4 of them? By the way, if anyone replies yes, I wouldn't if I were you, because Caroline might kick you out of the site. No, never ever respond with a major at the 2 level with only 4 of them. Some people get stuck for a bit and they think, oh, what do I do? Maybe I'll just show my hearts with only 4. You can't do it. You must never do it. Minor, funny. Yeah, Caroline's got a finger on the button like an Austin Powers, ready to evict people for bidding at the 2 level with only 4 of a major. So first hand, easy. You just bid 2 clubs. So you haven't really lost anything by not being able to bid 2 no trumps here. Bridge prison, exactly. Okay, hand B, not very complicated. Partner opens 1 of a spade. If you're playing 5 card majors, it would be a bit different here because you've got 3 card support for your partner. So you might have a bid available to you to show this hand. If you don't play 5 card majors, here you are bidding 2 diamonds to say to your partner, I've got 10 plus points and I've got 4 or more diamonds. So again, no great loss not having that 2 no trump bid. Last one, this is the one that throws people. Hand C, your partner's opened a spade. I'll come to that in a minute, Linda. So it's a good question. So last one, partner opens a spade. You're not playing 5-card majors. Sometimes even if you are, you're going to be stuck here, depending on what you've got. You can't bid 2 no trumps anymore because we're playing Jacoby. So 2 no trumps, if your partner opens spades, saying to your partner, I've got a good 4-card raise for you, I'm forcing to game. So you've lost that 2 no trump bid. This is the one where you have to make a sacrifice. You've given something up with this hand by not being able to bid 2 no trumps. What can you bid? Caroline? Anyone? You're stuck, right? I mean, you are stuck for a bid, but what are you going to do? So it's gone 1 spade by the opener. Two diamonds, says Marianne. I wouldn't bid 2 diamonds. 2 diamonds is always promising 4 or more. So the answer is you have to fib, basically. So I'll pop here. You have to just kind of tell a little white lie. And it's not a terrible, terrible white lie. You just have to bid clubs. So your partner will think that you've got 4 clubs, but it hardly ever matters because no one really cares about the minors normally. So normally it's not a particularly dangerous white lie. It gets your partner across that gets to your partner that you've got 10 or more points across, and it'll just carry on with the bidding. When you bid 2 clubs, you've made a forcing bid if you're not a passed hand. So if you play 5-card majors, it's very different because you can support the spades. If you played Acol, I would never just bid 2 spades with that many points. 1 spade, 2 spade to me would never show more than 10 or more points with Acol. So in this situation, if you find yourself with your bidding system stuck for a bid, just lie and bid 2 clubs. Now, I'd like to just pop back. You can't fib in diamonds because then your partner would think that you didn't fib in clubs, which, if that makes sense. So you start by fibbing with the lowest one. So the diamonds then, because you can fib in clubs, the diamonds then always becomes a 4-card suit. So Linda said, why, I think it was Linda, was it? Let's pop back. Never understood why you can't bid your major with 4. And it's kind of all linked in here. So one easy way to do it is just think of it as a golden rule. You can't bid your major with only 4 and respond at the 2 level with only 4. It's a golden rule. But the logic to it is that if you have got 4 hearts, you should really have 4 of another suit. So if you have 4 hearts, you're going to have 4 clubs or 4 diamonds first if you don't have support for your partner's spades. And the exception, again, would be this last hand. And that's when you have to make the lie. So if you did have 2 4-card suits in bridge, you always respond with your lower of your 2 4-card suits. So if you haven't responded with the lower of your 2 4-card suits and you've bid hearts, that must mean you've got 5, if that makes sense. If that's a bit kind of trying to think about everything that you haven't said, just think of it as a golden rule that you mustn't respond with your major at the 2 level without 5. Isn't it just Acol? No, it's both systems. It's just you won't find any sort of very, very experienced players who would ever respond with the major at the 2 level with only 4. It's as soon as I see 2 level response from my partner in a major, if I've got 3-card support for them and enough for game, I'm locking it in, that major. And then you can't scramble back out of it because your partner thinks you've got 5 of them. And you'll be thinking, oh no, I've only got 4. My partner thinks I've got 5. And every time you try and do something different, you're going to end up in a bad place. So just don't lie to your partner about majors. Lying to your partner about minors, fine. Nobody likes the minors. Lying to your partner about majors, bad. Don't do it. So that's the logic for it, or just try and remember that. So now, for the sort of hands in the old days, that would just jump to 4 of a major. So if you don't play Jacoby, you can't really differentiate between the different types of hands as in your partnership. So when you bid 2 no trumps to say you've got 4-card support, the joy of that is you leave that space between the 2 no trump bid and the 4 major bid to describe your hands more. And in the old days, well, still, even if you do play that you don't play Jacoby, with all these 3 hands here, even though they're really quite different hands with different sort of potential, you're going to jump to 4 spades over partner's 1 spade with all these 3 different hands. And sometimes you'll do it like with a really, really long spade suit that just has tons of spades and is just happy to play in 4 spades and has no aspirations for slam, say. So you're basically, with all these hands, your partner would open a spade. Without Jacoby, you would just go, boom, 4 spades. And then your partner thinks, what sort of hand has she got? Like, it's difficult for them to investigate how the hands are going to gel together. So you're going to end up playing in 4 spades, which is going to be fine most of the time for those hands that don't end up in slam, but it means that you'll miss slams. So do you have to have 13 plus points to respond to Jacoby? It's a game forcing hand, basically. So you have to look at your hand. If you've got a 12 count that looks like it's game forcing, then you do Jacoby. If you had a terrible 12 count, I wouldn't. But most 12 counts, I'm thinking I've got an opening hand. Opposite an opening hand, I want to be in game for most 12 counts. So for me, 12 is the magic number rather than 13. So that's the joy of Jacoby. It leaves room to talk about your hand with your partner. So the bids over the 2 no trumps. This is where the system comes in. What do people do? How do they describe your hands? Well, when you're thinking about getting to slam, shortages are extremely important. So for no trumps, like how many points do you have to have normally between the 2 hands to play in 6 no trumps? See if someone can come up with that quickly. Yeah, 33. And the logic for 33 for 6 no trumps is that you can be missing an ace and a king, and hopefully they're split. And that's as long as they don't have 2 aces. If they've got 2 aces, if they've got 8 points, they can go bash, bash with their aces. You're not going to make your 6 no trumps. Whereas with 33 points, you should be trying for 6 no trumps if you don't have an 8 card magic fit in a major. So you need a lot of points to make 6 no trumps. I mean, who's managed to make a slam before with like way fewer points than 33? It happens. I mean, has anyone had sort of an exceptional hand where they've managed to make slam with like a 19 count or a 20 count? Yeah, me too. I mean, it's incredible how powerful length and shortages are when you're playing bridge and suit contracts. They're unbelievably important. And so when you're describing your hand, being able to show shortages is really important. So the first bid that most people play with Jacoby, and this is the traditional Jacoby toolbox that people play. You will find that some people have different types of Jacoby, but this is the one that I would say 80, 90% of people are playing. So this is the good one to learn. So basically, if it goes one of a major, in fact, let me bring up the whiteboard because then it's easy so you can visualize. Hold on a second. And then I've got them all on, I have got them all written down there as well. I'm just going to put it on not too fat. I think that's a goodie. Okay, so it's gone one, let's do 1 spade. And then your partner has bid 2 no trumps, which is no longer saying I've got a balanced hand. It's basically saying 4 plus spades and game forcing. So this is how the bids go. 3 level, I'm just going to put it L for level. 3 level shows a shortage. And when we say shortage, what do we mean? Shortage is what? Can shortage be 2? Yeah, it's always a singleton or a void. It's never 2. It has to be a singleton or a void. So yesterday I was chatting to one of my students, and she was saying, well, maybe the doubleton counts as a shortage. And I was like, no, definitely not. It has to be like a singleton or a void, this 3 level bid. So single or void. So these are important. This 3 level bid is the shortage. You get your shortage across really, really quickly. And after the shortage, you can start Q bidding, which is what we talked about a few weeks ago, if you want to. And then that would be showing first or second round controls. So then you can see, you can sort of edge your way up, describing your hand, trying to get to slam. Shortage is the same as a splinter. So, so here, it's kind of like a splinter bid. The 3 level bid you could think of as a splinter. So it's shortage, or if you in America they call it shortness, which is kind of unusual. but it's a shortage. Can you bid slam with a void? Yeah, I love bidding slam with a void. And Jacoby's a good way of often finding that. So 3-level bids are shortage. What do you think 3 spades means compared with 4 spades? I'm going to write the bids in. And I'm going to put 4-level bids in here. We can see if we can work it out through logic, because then you'll remember it more. And there's also a 3 no trump bid. So if the opener comes back and bids 3 spades, what would you take that to mean? So it's gone 1 spade, 2 no trumps, 3 spades. So when you bid 2 no trumps, it's game forcing. You're never stopping below game. So you can't have a shortage in spades, Lisa, because spades is your major. So basically when you repeat your spades, yeah, so three spades means that you've got more spades than partner was expecting from you. And so this is no shortage. And more spades than your partner was expecting from you. So that's, if you're playing Akol, it would be 5. And this is a bigger hand. So this is a medium or a maximum, which is kind of interesting. This is the one that people, when they first start learning it, think, that's weird. Like 3 spades is a stronger hand. So 4 spades is no shortage, but a minimum. So logically, why do you think 3 spades is a better hand than 4 spades? So why is returning to your spades at the 3 level better than just jumping to 4? Yeah, Wendy said 3 means it's possible points for slam. And she's right. Because you're in a game force, it means that you've still left space open for you both to communicate. And the reason you want to leave space open is because you are interested in something more. Whereas if you just bid 4, so that expression I love, bid 4, shut the door, you're basically saying, I'm not interested. I know we're in a game force, but I really don't want to talk to you about this. We're just playing in 4. Unless you have something exceptional, I have got no interest in going past 4. And that's really useful for your partner. So if you are in a game force and you just jump to game, that's like your weak option. So I'm not talking about this. We're just going to bid slam. Whereas if you bid the lower one, 3 spades, you're saying, I know we're in a game force. Neither of us are passing. I want you to tell me more about your hand. So that's the logic there. 3 spades is the medium or the max, and 4 spades is the just shutting down, and with no shortages, these two. Okay, the 4-level bid. Anyone say, for example, it's gone 1 spade, 2 no trumps, and the opener has bid 4 clubs. What do you think that means? Like, why would you make that bid? What could it mean? So you've got 3 clubs to show the shortage. And a shortage is a control, Wendy. So you have got 3 clubs to show the shortage. If singleton is like a second round control, void is a first round control. There's something else that shows, something that could be really useful about a hand. Any thoughts about what it could be? Doesn't happen that very often, this bid, but it can be useful. So first level control, that can still go through 3 clubs. So 3 clubs can still be a void or a singleton. So it can be a first control. Maybe what you're trying to get at, Linda, or like an ace or an ace, maybe. But actually what it's better used for is to show a second 5-card suit. So having a second long suit when you're interested in a slam is a really useful thing. So say you've got 5 spades and 5 clubs, that's a very, very powerful hand shape. So that can be useful to get it across. And when you show that, you would have kind of 2 of 3 of the honors in it. So it's not just a rubbish 5-card suit. It's like a really nice 5-card suit. Maybe you've got ace, king, like that in clubs, or ace, queen in clubs. So someone's probably picked up here. I can hear the brains whirring across the world. Somebody's picked up probably that if you've got 2 5-card suits, what hand shape must you have if you've got 2 5-card suits? Can you have no shortage if you have 2 5-card suits? Yeah. George says no. You have to have a shortage, right? So if you've got 2 5-card suits, you might be a 5-5-2-1 shape or a 5-5-3 void shape. So clearly when you've made this bid and you've jumped to show your second 5-card suit, you haven't shown your shortage. So you could have actually bid 3 of your shortage in the other suit. So you've got a choice here. The choice is between showing your second 5-card suit or bidding your shortage. So I basically show my second 5-card suit if I've got the honors in it, because it's a useful source of tricks. That's why I would really want 2 of the 3 top honors. Then I would rather show the 5-card suit than the shortage first. But if it's not a particularly good 5-card suit, I'd rather show the shortage. What's interesting about jumping to the 5-card suit is you get a little bit more information across, because they know not only that you've got a 5-card suit, but also that you've got a shortage. And your shortage either must be, in this situation, in hearts or diamonds. Whereas if you just show your shortage, you've still got that across, but you haven't got across that other piece of information that you've got a 5-card suit. So you do get a little bit more information across by jumping and showing the 5-card suit, but only if you like it. So bids at the 3 level could either be a singleton or a void, Wendy. Yeah, exactly. So bids at the 3 level can be a singleton or a void. What about the 3 no trump bid? So it's gone 1 spade, 2 no trumps, 3 no trumps. What does that show? What could it show? This one here, I think Linda's, yeah, balanced. Yeah, it's a big balanced hand, basically, with no shortage. And again, it depends on your system. So if you open strong no trumps, it would be a bigger balanced hand than that. And if you open ACOL, it's going to be sort of a 15 through to 19 count, but a big balanced hand with no shortage. And that can be useful. So if you've got a balanced hand opposite a balanced hand, it's very hard to make slam unless you've got all those points, unless you're kind of pushing towards the 33 points that you would be playing if you had 6 no trumps. Whereas if you have got a shapely hand, then it's much more likely to get slammed. So balanced hand, opposite balanced hand, not so useful unless you've just got masses of points. So it helps you to basically, between the two of you, define your hands and try and work out what's the chance of slam. Let's put it into action. I'll pop back to here. Actually, let's practice first. Let's practice with these ones here. Okay, so hand A, the bidding's gone 1 heart. Your partner's bid Jacoby 2 no trumps. What is your next bid? So first hand, hand A. Wendy said, confused. Why isn't 3 no trumps a sign off? It doesn't have to be, Wendy. It's an option. Your partner can pass it if they think it's going to play better in a 3 no trumps. But they can take it back because they know they've got an 8-card major fit. Okay, so the first hand, partner's opened a heart. You've opened a heart, partner's bid Jacoby 2 no trumps. What do you bid? Yes, you show your shortage. You bid 3 clubs, which could be a void or could be a singleton. So you don't know yet whether it's a minimum or a maximum. The 2 no trump person won't be able to read that just yet, but they do know that their partner has got a shortage in clubs. And it's so important to get these shortages across when you're looking for slam. So you've managed to get that across at a very low level by bidding 3 clubs. Okay, hand B. This is a kind of choice, this one, depending on system. So 1 heart, 2 no trumps. You could either, depending on your system here, so it's either 3 no trumps, or you could bid 3 hearts to say, look, I've got an extra heart for you and a really big hand. So either of those 2 bids are fine. But you're not going to bid 4 hearts. 4 hearts would be the weak bid. Bid 4, shut the door. So here, either 3 no trumps to say you've got a really, really big balanced hand, or 3 heart to say, look, I've got a big hand with more hearts than you expected, some extras. Okay, what about hand C? So 1 heart, 2 no trumps by your partner. Brilliant, Marianne. Yep, 4. No interest in game. I really don't like my hand. I love the fact that you're game forcing with 4 hearts opposite my hand, but I certainly have no aspirations for slam with this measly semi-balanced 12 count with my kind of honors in the doubletons. It's kind of like a nasty 12 count. Don't want to go anywhere with it really, unless my partner's got something exceptional. So I'm just bidding for shutting the door. Just no interest. Talk to the hand. We're just playing in 4 hearts. Thanks. Okay, hand D. It's very similar to C. There's one small difference. It's basically the same hand, but there's another heart in there, which is the King of Hearts. So you've got more points. It's a better hand. So this is not wanting to shut down here. So that King of Hearts makes all the difference. It goes from being a minimum opening to a better opening. So here you've got a choice really of the 3 no trumps, which is a bit of a lie. It's not purely balanced, or bidding 3 hearts, which would be my favorite here. Just say I'm not a minimum, I'm medium or a maximum, and I've got extras here. Okay, so now for the fun one, E. 1 heart, 2 no trumps. What's the bid? You've got choices. Okay, Marianne saying 4 clubs, 3 diamonds, 4 clubs. You've got a choice. So it's basically the choice is between 3 diamonds, showing your shortage, or jumping to 4 clubs to show that 5 card suit. So I tend to show the 5 card suit, like I said, if I have got two or 3 of the honors. So I would bid 4 clubs here because I just like to tell my partner about the fact that I've got this very, very shapely hand, a 5-5-2-1 shape, probably, or even a 5-5-3 shape. So I would jump here and bid 4 clubs and just let my partner know about my club suit. No one's going to shoot you if you do bid 3 diamonds saying you've got a shortage. But for me, if you bid 4 clubs, you are telling your partner by inference you've also got a shortage. So I would bid 4 clubs with the south hand to let them know about that other 5 card suit. Okay, last one. Hand F. So it's gone 1 heart, 2 no trumps. What do you bid? Yeah, 3 spades. Yep, I've got a shortage in the spade suit. I might be interested in more. And I think I've got if you have a look at this later, we've got the answers on there. Okay, just for everyone to print out, just so you know, there's a little flow chart if you want to come back to this later. I think I did one for both. If you want to print that out and stick that on your fridge next to the Helvet Wiggle one, that would be good. And that is if some people like flowcharts, are like following it through. So that's there for you. But let's go across and actually put some of these into practice. I'm just going to redeal this hand. And for some reason, always the first one doesn't work. Okay, let's put this one together. So this one, we are playing Acol on this one. If you're playing a strong no trump on this one, you're opening 1 no trump. So this is going to actually be a bit divisive, this hand, about what you open here with the south hand if you play Acol. And weirdly, when I was chatting to Caroline about this actually a few weeks ago. So when I was playing in New Zealand last year, people were opening a diamond on this, which is different to the style that people tend to be playing in England. If you do open a diamond on this, it is kind of a style thing. I think probably modern Acol now is leaning towards always opening the major when you've got 2 full card suits with Acol and a balanced hand. So it's up to you what you and your partnership decide. It's definitely kind of a partnership agreement thing. But for me, when I'm playing Acol, I always open a spade with these big balanced hands. So I would open a spade. Okay, bid from north now that you're playing Jacoby. Is it good enough for Jacoby? Yep, 2 no trumps. Cool. I'm game forcing. I've got 4 card support. You have to write in. So you could just write Jacoby in. Most people know what it is. Or 4 card support. You have to alert it though. And game forcing. So 2 no trumps. Now, how does South now describe her hand or his hand? What's the bid? There's no shortage. There's nothing extra about spades. There's no extra spade. There's no shortage, so you can't bid 3 clubs. That would be saying they've got a singleton or a void in clubs. 4 spades would be kind of bid 4, shut the door. But I don't know. You've got something more than you told your partner originally. So bid 4, shut the door for me is more like your semi-balanced 12, 13, 14 counts. 3 spades is promising extras in the spade, saying I've got more about the spade suit than you're expecting from me. So you must have 5 for that. Your partner knows that you've got at least 4 when you open. There's another bid, and I've got a funny feeling Wendy might get it, actually. If you're there, Wendy, listening. Because she asked a good question about it before. I think it was Wendy. So the bid here, and Caroline's got it, the bid here is I've got a big balanced hand. So 3 no trumps. That's the extra thing that you're telling. Thanks, Wendy, you got there, yeah. That's the extra thing that you're telling your partner about your hand. So you're not telling your partner you've got an extra spade and that you're a good hand, which would be 3 spades. You're not showing a shortage. You're not jumping in another suit, so I've got another length in a suit. You're not bidding 4, shutting the door to say I'm just at a minimum. You're saying to your partner, look, I'm a big balanced hand. That's the hand type I've got. Do with that as you want. Do with that as you may. So they're going to bid 3 no trumps. And Wendy asked a very good question before and said, couldn't you just pass this 3 no trumps? And you can just pass this if you wanted to. I wouldn't pass it with the north hand. Why not? Why would you be worried about passing 3 no trumps? Occasionally, even though you've got an 8-card major fit, you do want to play in no trumps. I'd be really worried about the north hand. There's nothing in hearts, yeah. And it's not perfectly flat. So say north had a 4-3-3-3 shape, which is the sort of most balanced hand. If you have a 4-3-3-3 shape, you might be worried that your partner also had a completely mirrored hand for you. And if you've got a completely mirrored hand opposite a completely mirrored hand, then it's very, you don't get any roughing values. So it's almost as if you're playing that contract in no trumps. And if you're basically playing the hand in the same way as if you were playing in no trumps with no roughs, then you only need 9 tricks for no trumps. So it can be better with those particular hands playing in 3 no trumps. But for me, that shortage in hearts it could be valuable because you might be able to get roughing in the short hand. But the other reason is, as Caroline said, is I'd be worried about hearts as well. So only having 2 hearts is a very scary thing as well. So for here, I would definitely take it back to 4 spades. And South knows that their partner's got no interest in anything further. North is thinking I've got a balanced hand, opposite a balanced hand. We might get a rough in with the hearts, but it's definitely not looking like I've got any sort of interest in slam. Okay, just in terms of how this is played, let's just have a quick look at this. So say they lead the 10, and this person, they can see the king and the queen and dummy, so there's not much point in signaling here. Some people will use the signals here to say something about another suit because they can see the king and the queen in dummy, and they know that their partner West would never lead away from an ace in the suit contract. So the kind of club suit is dead to them. So often a signal here is no longer attitude for the club suit because that club suit is just basically gone for the defense. So they might use it to signal to their partner about something else, like which suit to come back to later. And here they win it. So in terms of the spade suit, how do you play this spade suit? I see people get this wrong a lot, this particular combination. How would you play it? In fact, we might even just pop back. It might be worth just popping back to the whiteboard because I think there will be people here who do sometimes make this mistake. So let's do it. I think it's worth doing. Hold on a second. I am going to delete that one. Okay, so the card combination, can everyone see the whiteboard again? Is ace, queen, 6, 4. And here in the declarer's hand, you had the ace, 7, 3, 2. So Wendy's saying play the jack. Any other thoughts? So I'm pleased you said that, Wendy, because now I know that there was somebody out there who would do it. And it happens a lot. People do this all the time. So I just want to I want to explain the logic to you why you don't do that. You'll see in a second why it's the wrong thing to do. It feels kind of intuitive to do that. I know exactly what you mean, because you're thinking, oh, maybe they'll cover it and I'll get an extra trick. But the idea here is to play the 2. You should finesse the king. You should play the 2. If they play low here, you play the queen, and that wins. What card would you play next? I'll follow that through in a second, Wendy, okay? I'll show the other way around. So you've won with the queen. You're hoping for all 4 tricks. What should you now play? When are you going to make all 4 tricks here with this hand now? What should you do? I mean, if the king is over here, you're never making all 4 tricks. But if the king is here in a doubleton, you can make 4 tricks sometimes. So coming back to the south hand doesn't really help you. You're trying to get 4 tricks. What you should do is just now play the ace. So they play low, and that will capture this holding, the king X. So if they've got king X here, you can make all 4 tricks. So you play low up to the queen. If that holds, then you put the ace down. If the king is on the other side, it's all over anyway. Or if this person had king 3, it's all over as well. They're always making their king. So that's your chance here of getting all 4 tricks. And that, so Wendy, I'm just going to do it the other way now. And for everybody else, I'm sure it's not just Wendy, it'd be a lot of people. So say you have got this. So we're going to pop it back. Ace, queen, 6 and 4. Jack, 7, 3 and 2. So you had the same thing going on. The king 10 here. And over here you have the 9, 8, 5. If you played the jack, what is West going to do? So when do you say, would you play the jack if you had the possibility of finesse in both directions? You play the jack, yeah, and to have the possibility of finesse in both directions means you have different cards. Like you'd have the 10 and the 10 and the 9. So then that completely changes things and you're on it. That's exactly the point. It's all about these 10s and the 9s. So if you play the jack here, the defense is going to cover with the king. And you are now going to kill that with your ace. Sorry for the violent words. And then that's going to go. So if you play chess here, I think there's quite a good chess analogy here. So it's kind of like you have used up your bishop and your knight for one of their bishops. So you've used up 2 really good pieces for one of theirs. So that's why it's a bad trade. You haven't actually promoted anything. So if you had the 10, it would be really different because your 10 would now be the next highest card. And you've made another trick from doing that. But if you just lose 2 of your good cards for one of theirs, it's a really, really bad trade. So that's sort of what's happened here. So now you do make this one, but their 9 is going to win a trick here. So instead of getting 4, you get 3. So it's kind of like an illusion to play the jack here because they'll just cover with the king. So there's no advantage to play the jack. It's very different if you've got the 10. If you've got the 10 and the 10 and the 9, it's really different because you can just finesse once and then finesse again. Direct and indirect finesses. Oh, okay, cool. Wendy's just made a point about the direct and indirect finesse. So in this situation, you play low up towards the queen and then you put the ace down. So I'm pleased that we did that because that's a very, very common sort of, it's almost like an optical illusion that people have. Let's take you back to this one. So here, it's exactly what you would do here. You would play that one. Here, you play the queen and then you try the ace and it's gone. And now we're absolutely fine making the contract. We'll pop up this one. You make an over trick, as you can see. I'm great, Rosemary. That's cool. I know sometimes sometimes you find yourself doing things by habit, and you can just get in the habit, and because it doesn't even necessarily cost you at the bridge table, you don't even realize that you're doing it the sort of anti-percentage way. So sometimes it's good just to have these things to talk about these things and have them pointed out because you'll suddenly think, oh God, gosh, crikey, I've been doing that the wrong way and potentially giving up an extra trick. And it all, as Wendy said, it all depends on the holding. It really does. So if you had the Jack and 10, Jack 10, 9, totally different. The right thing to do would be to play the Jack, because if they cover with the King, you play the Ace, and then your 10 is the next highest card. So it totally changes things. Let's try another Jacoby hand. Okay, this is a delicious hand. This nice South one. Delicious because it's got a singleton. Always like picking up Shapley hands. So what are we opening with the South hand? Just a heart. West is not bidding anything. Last night, someone overcalled when I was playing bridge with a 4-card suit and completely stuffed me, but don't do it. So West is passing. Okay, bid from the North hand. Is it game forcing? And do you have 4-card support? Yes, you do. Thanks, Rosemary. Yep, just the classic Jacoby. 2 no trumps. You would always write it in or explain it or alert it at the bridge table if it's your partner who's made the bid. So 2 no trumps. I've got a good 4-card support for my partner, and I am forcing to game. East can't do anything. Okay, now what is the bid for South? Yep, 3 diamonds. 3 diamonds showing what? So important to get these things across. You're telling your partner with the 3 diamond bid that you've got a shortage in the diamond suit, a singleton or a void. So it doesn't have to be weakness in diamond suit, because weakness can mean like, 2 or 3 small diamonds. It's just saying you've got a shortage in the diamond suit. Singleton or a void in the diamond suit, like a splinter. So you bid 3 diamonds. Now, what would North think if their partner has got a singleton in diamonds? Is it a good or a bad thing opposite the King Jack? Really, when you have a singleton or a void, what you're really, really looking for is that you can ruff your little measly, pathetic little diamonds in the other hand. So you want to be able to turn your small diamonds into winners. So say I had like 4 small diamonds here, that would mean my points were contained more in the club suit, the heart suit, and the spade suit. And it would mean that I can still win those diamonds, even though they haven't got points in it. And those points that I have in the diamond suit would be somewhere else because I've made a game forcing bid. So when you are looking at shortage and the power of a shortage, what you want opposite the shortage is small cards, not strength. That's a very key point. So it's okay. In fact, it's actually great to have the ace opposite a singleton and then small cards, because if you had the ace here, you could play your ace of diamonds and then rough diamonds. But the King of Jack are not powerful cards opposite a shortage, because the value of those cards is probably from roughing. And if the value is from roughing, you're actually roughing your points. So you are kind of almost double counting your points. So if you see points opposite your shortage, that's a sign that you're not interested. So here, North would think, shame, my points are opposite my partner's shortage. So I'm probably I could end up having my Jack and King roughed. So I'm not interested in slam. So Mariana said that she would bid 4 hearts here. I would as well. So I want to basically say to my partner, thanks for telling me that you've got a shortage in diamonds. Unfortunately, that's where I've got values. So that's of no use to me. I am just going to bid 4 hearts. I'm going to sign off here. I'm not interested. And you can see this is a hard contract to make. It is quite difficult to make. It's going to be fine, I think, because you can actually get 2 spade roughs in. Holy moly, so much to consider, remember all the time. I know, Wendy, and you keep learning the whole time. It just never stops. That's the thing about bridge. You think, oh, I've got the hang of this. And then something else will happen. And you think, oh, okay, no, I hadn't clicked to that. I understand that now. But that is, like we've always said, that is the beauty of bridge, for sure. So in this hand, 4 hearts feels like a good place. You're not going to have interest in slam, and you're just going to sign off. I'm going to quickly do one more. And then next week, we're going to talk about this again and just do some more thinking on them. Okay, South is opening a spade. 4, 5, 6. Okay, nice hand. South opens a spade. Pass. Bid from North. 2 no trumps, Jacoby. I'm game forcing and I have got at least 4 cards in your suit. Okay, bid from south. Cool. Everyone's getting this. Fantastic. 3 clubs saying I have got a shortage, and I should have been writing this in as well. You have to say, you have to alert to the opponents what you mean, because some people, I think maybe when Jacoby first happened, they didn't play the shortage at the 3 level, but almost everybody does now. So this is a shortage. So this is a different situation now with the North hand, because the ace is actually a powerful hand with a singleton, because it means you've got no losers potentially in the club suit, because the ace is going to take care of that single card, and then the 7, 6, and 5 can be roughed in clubs. So can you see how this is just a much, much more powerful hand opposite a shortage from the North's perspective than the other diamond was with the scattered values of the king and the jack? This one here, basically, there's no losers in the club suit. The ace is going to take care of that little 2, and then the 7, 6, and 5 are not losers anymore. They're rough. So I would be excited now with this North hand. And we're going to go through, I think we'll go through this one a wee bit more next week and carry on the bidding with this one. But you can now start showing your first or second round controls and suits. So Q bids. And when you show your first or second round control and suits, you're going to be able to get to 6 spades here. And do you think it's going to make? You are roughing in your wrong. You would have to be roughing in your long hand, Rosemary, but it would be still, you wouldn't lose anything. So even though you're roughing in your long hand and the opponents might try and make you do that, you're still going to be fine here because you've got enough spades and you won't lose control of the trumps. So you're not roughing in your long hand through choice. You're not doing it to make extra tricks, but they might force you to rough in your wrong hand. But the key is you don't have any club losers here. Okay, so look, well done, everyone. Has anyone got any questions before Caroline pops back in? Yep, keep safe and well, everyone, as well. Don't worry, we're going to do some more of this. We'll reinforce this next time.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. That's so much fun. So much fun. It's really good. It's just the continuations, isn't it? That's where the complexity. Like a lot of the time, I think that it's like I get excited about the idea of this 2 no trump bid, but it's actually all the stuff after the 2 no trump bid where the real power is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And that's where you just have to, if you suddenly feel that you find that you're forgetting it at the bridge table, just stop and think about the logic of it. The logic is shortage sprinters are really important. So that's your first bid. And am I showing my partner something extra as well? Or should I just be shutting?
I was finding it quite helpful, like, since we knew that they were all going to be Jacobys, to sort of start thinking about what my next bid would be.
Good.
When at the same time as opening.
Yeah.
And it sort of helped me to kind of, figure out where I was heading in my head, hopefully. But
yeah, good. That's a great tip as well. If you're always trying to plan the next step ahead, it will be much easier when you come around to making the bid.
So interesting. It's so interesting. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Oh, welcome.
How's everybody else feeling?
Yeah, they're all going to have a lie down. Okay.
All right. Well,
thanks for coming. Thank you very much. See you later.
Thank you very much, everyone. See you later.
Bye.
And yes, again, anybody who's got questions, please remember to ask them on the class page. But otherwise, we will see you same time, same place next week. Have a great week, everyone.
Bye.